Okay, this is January 2012, question number 4 on the binomial theorem. Okay, so remember the binomial theorem uses Pascal's triangle, which is this triangle here. Okay, and obviously it carries on. So to get the number below, you add up the 2 above. So 1 add 1 is 2, 2 add 1 is 3, 3 add 1 is 4, and so on. Okay, rows 0 to 6. Okay, now to know which row to use, you look at the power here. So the power is 4, so you're going to use row 4. So all these numbers here are going to be our coefficients. They're going to be a number at the start of each term. So to start off then, we're going to have 1, 4, 6, 4, and 1 as our starting numbers. Okay. Now remember, we're expanding it as if it's a plus b to the n, with the a's decrease in powers and the b's increase in powers. Okay, so we do 1 times by the first term to whatever power it is. Now the second term is there, but it's the power of 0, so that's just going to be 1, so we leave that. Okay, now these start decreasing, so it's x cubed times by this one to the power of 1. This is x squared, because it's decreasing. This one is increasing, so that's going to be squared. Now notice that I put it in bracket because both parts of these are squared, and it's always adding each time. Okay, so then x decreasing, this one is increasing. Last one, x decreases, so it disappears. This one increases until you get back to the 4. So look at the pattern there. X's have decreased. The second part has increased the powers. Also, the powers are 4, so they should add up to give you 4. So 4, 3 and 1, 4, 2 and 2, 4, 3 and 1, 4, and then 4. Okay, so we know we've got the right pattern going on there. Working this out, then this is going to give you x to the power of 4. Working this out, then we've got 4 times 3 is 12, x cubed on the top, all over x on the bottom there, plus 6x squared. I'm going to work this out first of all, times by, now both of these parts are squared, so it's 3 squared is 9, and x squared is obviously x squared there, plus 4x, let's work this out first, 3 cubed is 27, all over x cubed, which is x cubed, plus 1, 3 to the power of 4 is 81, x to the power of 4. Okay, now we need to go back and see what else we can simplify. So we've got x to the 4, plus the 12 can stay there. X cubed divided by x means we lose 1x from there, disappears, lose 1x from here, so this just becomes x squared. Plus 6 times 9 is 54. Be careful that I didn't transfer over the x squared, okay? X squared and x squared are going to cancel out. This is just 54. Moving on, 4 times 27 will give you 108. We've got an x on the top and an x cubed on the bottom there. Okay, so with indice powers, you take them away. So 1 take away 3 gives you minus 2. So it's x to the minus 2, which we know we can put on the bottom as x squared there. Plus 81 of the power of x to the 4. And let's check that. We've got x to the 4 plus 12x squared plus 54 plus 108x squared plus 81x to the power of 4. Okay, part B then is an n question. So the coefficient of x squared, and the expansion of this is 760. N is positive, find n. So this is where you're going to use the equation, which I have here. Hold on a second. You're going to use this equation here, okay? Because we've got x squared, and then x to whatever power. So we're going to focus on this part here, which is x squared. So if I just write that part out, the part in front of the x squared, part B then, is n minus 1 over 1 times 2. Remember that means x squared. the coefficient of x squared is 760. So if we have a look at this now then, that means all the bit in front of the x squared is 760. So let's put in what we've got. Now you've got to be careful because x in this question wasn't just x, it's 2x. Okay, so we won't just have x squared, we're going to have 2x squared. Okay, because it's not just x on its own. So we're going to have n minus 1 over 1 times 2, so over 2, times by x squared. So x is 2x, and that's going to be squared. So be careful with that, okay? It's all of that squared, so we need to put in our 2x there. If it was a fraction, if it was a quarter of x, you put in a quarter x squared. And this equals 760. Now then, going on to work this out, we're going to end up with, expanding this, n squared minus n over 2 times by 4 x squared equals 760. Now remember in the question it said the coefficient of x squared. Now this word coefficient means everything in front of the x squared. So that is this part here that we're going to focus on. So you can ignore the x squared now. Okay? Don't even need to write that in the start if you don't want to. So let's simplify this part here. So we've got times by 4 divided by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is just 2. Okay, this should be in a bracket there. So we're going to have 2 n squared minus n equals 760. Ignore that line there. Expanding this, we're going to end up with 2n squared minus 2n equals 760. Moving the 760 over, 2n squared minus 2n minus 760 equals 0 there. Okay, and then we're going to factorise that. Okay, so if we work it out, bit of a harder one to factorise. So start off by dividing that through by 2. So we're going to end up with n squared minus n minus 380 equals 0. Factorising that into 2 brackets, you can use the plus and the times. So we're going to add to make minus 1 and times to make minus 380. Okay, so I'm going to use 19 and 20. So minus 20 plus 19. So we get n plus 19, n minus 20. So n is 20 or n is minus 19. Now remember in the question it said that n is positive, so n equals 20 in this one here.